Okay, so my research senior capstone proposal is about agency, which is older women's presence on social media. You might guess from my Googie graphic design shirt and my gray hair that I'm a product of mid-century, 20th century. So this, kind of relates to me. My name's Rosa. I transferred from Maui College with an AA in Hawaiian Studies. And I went to high school way back in the 1960s in a small country town in Aotearoa, New Zealand, graduating in 1969. My program of study here at UH West Oahu is creative media, and I'm in the general concentration because I live on Molokai, so it had to be completely a course that was completely online. The executive summary of what I'm going to present today is that I'm going to be doing an Instagram campaign looking at the role that social media plays in the changing perceptions about older women who are often portrayed in the media as either frail and technologically inept or as beautiful, happy, and physically fit. Neither of these extremes, I consider those extremes, captures the full range of older women's experiences in their daily lives. So the purpose of this research and the project is to broaden people's understanding of how older women exercise considerable agency over how they portray themselves on social media. And because my proposed project will be conducted on the same platform as the one that I'm analyzing in my research, I hope that it will both exemplify and also amplify my thesis statement, which is, just to recap it, that older women are often portrayed in the media as either frail and technologically inept or as beautiful, happy, and physically fit. And neither of those extremes captures the full range of older women's experiences. So my rationale for conducting this research is that it can be used to kind of broaden people's understanding. Sorry, I just want to look at my notes that I made for myself. Yeah, their understanding of how make them aware of these kind of almost, memes of older women uh, as they're portrayed on social media. And my research looked at statistical, anecdotal, and visual evidence in support of the thesis. And I will, Instagram will also provide those things in the sense that there'll be plenty of anecdotal and visual evidence. And if I do use polls and things like that, it'll also be statistical. And I want to encourage people to interact with the Instagram posts to help them get rid of any prejudgments they might have made or any limitations they place on the way that they present themselves. So it's going to be an Instagram campaign delivered over the course of the capstone semester. It will be showcasing the different ways that older women present themselves on that social media platform. And my objective is to raise awareness of the wide variety of lived experiences that the segment of the population, or in fact any segment of the population, has that aren't reflected in their social media presentations of themselves. So the significance, because we're also influenced by what we see, and that can be on social media, and that can be manipulated either by by professional marketers. I mean, that is their role, to manipulate you into buying something or to acting in a particular way. And also the algorithms of the platforms themselves also kind of manipulate you by, they kind of create silos of the things that you are presented with. And so I'm hoping that that kind of, sorry, I don't know how to go back. Yes, I do know how to go back. Um, it's a kind of closed loop, and I kind of want to short circuit that closed loop. And the reason it focuses on older women is obviously because that's the demographic I'm part of. However, the same research can be applied to other demographic segments. So, in the future, there may be others that look at it in this light. So before kind of making decisions about what platform I would use, and also the scope of my research, because I'm obviously another demographic key for me is that I'm Western European, and I'm part of that culture. And so I thought I'd just look at, how or what social platforms have become popular globally in the world over this little animation that I found shows them from like 1997 to 2021, but I'm just going to show it from 2014, which is when Instagram came on the scene. But you'll see there's several apps that originate not in the US. Oh, did I share it now? Probably not.
Yes.
So then I began looking at the data. Um, I found a company called Meltwater, which is a social media, professional company. You go to them if you want to, get your message out on all of these platforms. The data in their graphics comes from a company called GWI. It says down here. GWI, I looked into it. It's an international polling and market research company. And so the first thing that I looked at was basically, what do people do on the different platforms? And it varies between platforms, like message friends and family at 72.1% is pretty high on Facebook. TikTok, not surprisingly, has the highest percentage of people looking for funny or entertaining content. X, formerly known as Twitter, has people, wanting to keep up to date with news and current events. And Instagram is mainly used for sharing photos or videos. Then I wanted to know, why do people use social media, and does that differ between age groups? So this graphic shows that. I'm not going to go into details about every one of these things, but I just wanted to point out that, if you're 65 or older, reading news stories is pretty high up on what you do. 55 to 64, it's in the same, uh, leaderboard or whatever you want to call it. 45 to 54, it's in the same place. People under 44, 35 to 44, it's starting to drop down. 25 to 34, about the same. When you get to people who are age 16 to 24, which is the demographic basically of the people who are going to be creating, media campaigns and so on, it drops all the way down to, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth place. And I think that's an interesting statistic. And another interesting statistic is, I was surprised that at the percentage of people who follow influencers on social media. This one gives it by age and gender, and it is very low. That didn't surprise me for people 65 plus. But the other thing I found interesting was that in all, excuse me, age groups, females are more influenced on social media than males. So I think that's something that I'm going to explore in the capstone project itself. Why is it that females are more prone to being influenced by outside sources, in this way? This pie graph from the Pew Research Center is based on census data. And it's just to illustrate the changes in which pretty much everyone knows that the percentage of older people, this is people 65 plus, is growing bigger. Oops. I want to go back, forward. And I hate to be, reinforcing the idea that older women are technologically inept. I just, have a very mousy mouse. The share of population that's 0 to 4 years is actually decreasing. So that is this one here. I'm just, thinking about future implications of how the generally older population is going to keep becoming a much bigger percentage of the population because of the low birth rates. So then I wanted to decide, who's the target audience? And this is the Pew data about users of each social media platform. So as you can see here, 59% 65 plus use Facebook and only 19% use Instagram. Whereas 18 to 29, 76% use Instagram, and a healthy, like 68%, which is pretty much the same as 65 plus, use Facebook. So why choose Instagram instead of Facebook when my targets are older women in here, creative professionals who are in here, and Instagram users who follow particular topics? It's because Instagram allows more direct interaction via comments. Like YouTube is by far the most popular, but across pretty much all segments. But Instagram looks good when it doesn't allow people to download the images that are on there. It structures, it has an exact same number of text characters that everybody can use for the post itself. So that kind of puts everybody on a level playing field, and it, structures the way comments are shown very clearly. So part of it is actually, the UI design. So that was one reason that I chose that platform for those target audiences. And the problem that I've posed is that older women aren't represented truthfully in social media, and part of that is because of this kind of closed loop. And so getting into, having that younger demographic as part of the target group is because many creative media graduates move into careers in the fields of marketing, photography, illustration, and filmmaking, and becoming aware of alternative ways of presenting older women in social media as a step towards portraying them more realistically. And, that will, help older women themselves feel free to portray themselves more realistically. So this is the preparation process for creating that project. First of all, I'll find Instagram accounts that focus on older women and the kind of hashtags that they use, and create an Instagram account that will focus on 3 of those topics and create a schedule for posting. Then design an Instagram campaign with weekly posts and inviting feedback via comments, monitor those comments, and adjust the topics as needed in order to widen the audience. And 3 favorite donuts. Wish I'd found the Purvey donut shop website before this one. It's very funny, donut names. I will implement the campaign and monitor the comments and adjust the topics as needed in order to widen the audience. Make use of polls to get more specific input from the audience. So back in, one of the requirements for the CM degree is the Creatives in Media course. And these images here are from one of our assignments, which was I chose to design a daily campaign schedule for a Lahaina art walk in association with the Maui Plein Air event. Obviously, this was in 2022 before all of, I very much doubt that any of these galleries exist anymore because of the fire. And I also, I think, didn't really understand the difference between @ and hashtags. But the reason I was using the @ was that I wanted to kind of place these Instagram posts into their own Instagram feeds. So, that's something else I'll have to investigate. But anyway, each weekly post had an image from one particular I think, it looks like I did daily posts for 2 weeks. I had an image from one particular gallery, a little summation of what the gallery shows, and then where it is and its opening hours. So basically, it had something to pull people's attention and also gave information, and also had the useful information of opening hours and location, and also hopefully captured their interest with a little blurb. So each weekly post of my campaign will highlight a particular topic with an explanation about it, an invitation to comment, and links to particular accounts that address those topics. and it'll utilize hashtags so that the post is brought up in people's Instagram searches. And basically, that is it. Mahalo to my course instructor, Alfie Garcia, for his help in the early stages of doing research, and to my awesome peer reviewers, Angelina Heikel and Tyra Bailey. Your input helped make my research paper so much better, and also helped me to envision the direction my final capstone project will take. What makes you feel seen? What makes you feel like you belong? That's a quote from Maria Shriver's Instagram. And do you have any questions for me?